What is up, folks? Welcome to the kickoff of week 3 of the Foundations of Self-Talk course here with InnerLoop Sports. Mindset Coach Trev, as always, absolutely juiced to have you here. Over the first half of this course, we've focused on the fundamentals, the basics, building up your awareness so you've got a crystal clear picture of what self-talk is, what impact it potentially has, and what it actually looks like in your particular situation. Over the second half of this program, we're going to start transitioning our focus a little bit here and starting to tune in more to specific strategies, techniques, and tools that you can use with your self-talk. Today, we're kicking that conversation off with a remarkable framework that I learned personally from Trevor Moawad, one of the best and most renowned mental performance coaches that has been there. The framework is called neutral thinking. Let's go ahead and get into it. You see, you've probably heard it before. Just be positive. Coaches, parents, instructors, they mean well, but honestly, this is some of the most unhelpful advice we can be given. Sometimes, yes, being optimistic, being positive, it is a huge help, and it really does make a difference. But in certain situations, it really just feels like we're lying to ourselves. Bad break, bad swing, bad execution, whatever it may be, when we know we've made a mistake and yet try to force positivity, it feels unauthentic, not genuine, and frankly, we just don't believe it. On the opposite side of things, we also know being negative is not very helpful. That's quite clear. So we don't want to force positivity, but we also don't want to be negative. What's that leave us with? This is where neutral thinking comes into play. Enter Trevor Moawad, renowned mental performance coach who worked with some of the most top-tier programs and individuals. Groups like Alabama, Georgia, Florida State football, Russell Wilson, special warfare operations, the MLB, the NBA. Trevor worked with some of the best of the best. And in the years I got to intern underneath him and understand his philosophy, neutral thinking was at the center of this. So let's break it down then. Neutral thinking is when we meet a moment and instead of forcing positivity or only being negative, we actually acknowledge and accept both realities. This means we acknowledge, we accept both the positive or the opportunity and the negative. Instead of choosing one or the other, we let both in. It's not about pretending everything is fine when it's not. And it's not about dwelling on what went wrong hole after hole. It's acknowledging what went wrong while also highlighting what opportunities still exist. What can we pay attention to now? And by doing this, it gets us back to the present. It reduces the friction. It helps us accept what is and play ultimately our best golf. Let me give you a few examples to help bring this to life. Let's say, for example, off the tee, you carry things a little bit out to the right and you land in the rough. On that next shot, sure, you got a target picked out. You got somewhere specific you want to land the thing. And let's say after putting that swing on it, you really don't get the result you want. You're still in the fairway, but you're not really at the target that you had selected. Easy opportunity to get frustrated, easy opportunity to just see the negative. Damn it, I had a target picked out and I'm 20, 30 yards short of that or to the left of that, whatever it may be. Neutral thinking in this situation would be to say, damn, that ain't where I wanted to land it, but I'm back in the fairway and that's the main thing. Let's go find it and hit it again. A second example, let's imagine for an entire round, your driver is all over the place, putting yourself consistently in difficult positions. While it could very easily be an opportunity to become frustrated and let that frustration bleed into all the other elements of your game, it could also be an opportunity to get neutral and tell yourself, the driver's all over the place today and that sucks. However, this is a great opportunity to keep things simple and focus on the short game. Focus on my process. Again, we're calling attention to the fact that this is not what we want. We don't want the driver to go all over the place. But at the same time, we're presenting ourselves with a new opportunity, a new challenge within. And this helps us find balance in these difficult moments. Now, I could give you examples all day of neutral thinking, but at the end of the day, what's most important is you understanding why this works. For starters, when we embrace neutral thinking, we're no longer lying to ourselves. We're not trying to force a positive on a situation that clearly has some negativity to it. But equally as much, we're not nearly as married to that negativity. Yes, we can call it out. We can say it's there because it is. And at the same time, we can bring in a little optimism for a different route. Having a neutral mindset gives you more freedom, more flexibility, more resilience to roll with the punches as they come, because frankly, none of us ever play a full round of golf with no adversity. It's going to happen. So instead of backing yourself in a corner when it does, we can be neutral, we can be present, and we can make the best of the situation. This is all brought to life through your self-talk, through the conversation you're having with yourself. And of course, the only way that conversation is going to change, the only way neutral thinking becomes more of your norm, is by practicing. So with that in mind, here is your daily challenge to kick off week 3. Today, get out there for a practice session. Again, whether that's on the range, the putting green, chipping, a full practice round, totally up to you. But make sure you get a good opportunity of reps here. And what I want you to specifically focus on while you go out and play today is A, of course, verbalizing, being vocal in your process, in your routines. But B, I want you to try to be as neutral as possible through all of it, through the ups, through the downs, through the good, through the bad. Let's just really accentuate that muscle and let's really exaggerate that tendency today. Again, we do this with a mindset of experimentation. There's no right, there's no wrong. It's to learn, it's to understand, it's to get feedback and see, what's this feel like? What's this look like? How easy is this for me to do? After that round, as always, analyze that recording and let's take a look at your data. Specifically, there's 2 places within your data I want you to pay attention to. The first is your most common phrases, specifically the instructional ones, and maybe even the positive ones. We'll see where your phrasing, where your neutral talking really lands. But are there any new phrases there? And do any of those phrases represent this effort to be extra neutral? The second place I want you to pay attention to is your percentage breakdowns. Again, your percentage breakdowns measure your positive, negative, neutral, and instructional self-talk. Well, while we're trying to be extra neutral, let's see if that shift shows up. You're probably familiar with how neutral you normally are. Let's see if this go around creates a drastic difference. Again, as always, it's not about being perfect. It's just about getting the reps in, experimenting, trying it on for size. Tomorrow, we're going to take this idea of neutral thinking and we're going to fine tune it a little bit more. Frankly, we're going to make it more personal for you so that you have go-to neutral phrases and statements to utilize. But for today, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Go experiment, get in that practice session, record, really be neutral with the ups and the downs. Check your data afterwards, see what difference it makes, and I will see you again here tomorrow to take things a step further.